Gaurav, a more escalatory sequence of events cannot be imagined. A Russian fighter jet, a US, a Reaper Predator drone controlled by the CIA, as we know, functioning under NATO command in the Black Sea area, colliding. All kinds of claims and counterclaims have been made on both sides. But whatever be the case, the fact that that drone has crashed means that this was very close to being interpreted as an act of war.
Shiv, this is a huge escalation. This marks a huge escalation because this is where you have Russian fighter jets directly taking on an American asset or a NATO asset. In fact, the moment this incident happened, reports suggest that there were 2 more fighter jets that were scrambled immediately. This happened very close to the Estonian airspace, and you had NATO fighter jets. The Germans and the British fighters, they took off immediately, and according to NATO, they escorted the Russian aircraft out of their safe zone. And this is where it shows that Russia and NATO air forces are virtually eyeball to eyeball. They've already had one contact. You're absolutely right. Had a missile been used, it would have been an act of war, a direct escalation. The US could interpret this as an act of war, but this, Shiv, may fall into the grey zone warfare, dumping fuel on the Reaper UCAV, and then tipping it gently for the drone to crash. Russia sent out a message. It's protecting its airspace, as it puts it, or information, Shiv, that was to be used, courtesy the Americans, by the Ukrainians, to harm Russian forces. So this is what the commentary from Russia is, but this marks a huge escalation in this conflict.
Geeta, how are you looking at the fallout of this? The traditional things have been said. The US has put out an elaborate statement saying that the Russian pilots were flying in an unsafe and unprofessional manner. They were out of control. The Russians say that nothing of this sort has happened. The provocation actually came from the US side.
Well, Shiv, it's a very, very serious development. We do know that the Russian ambassador was summoned in Washington by US authorities. Having said that, there is a strategic angle to this entire story, and that is the Sevastopol naval base. So close to Crimea, a US drone flying certainly was cause for worry for Russia. While the Western forces consider Crimea part of Ukrainian territory and therefore think it is all right to carry out those reconnaissance missions. But the fact is that Russia over here with the Sevastopol naval base trying to protect what they consider their territory, a naval base which is critical for Russia in not just this war but also in any kind of security, naval security that it provides all through winters to its own boundaries and territories, because this is the only warm water naval base that Russia has. So we do not know really the details of what and why the trigger for taking down the drone, but certainly I'd say that Crimea and the Sevastopol naval base certainly is one of the reasons why the Russians took such a drastic action.
Yes.
Having said that, at this point it is one person's claim against the other. The Russians have rejected the claims. So again, we'll have to wait and see how this pans out between Russia and the US. For now, the Russian envoy has been summoned.